Hi and welcome back to another tutorial. In this class I want to show you how to quickly and easily make this really cute seamless floral repeat pattern using custom made stamp brushes inside of Procreate. The first step in creating our pattern is to create our canvas. If you've already got one at 3000 by 3000 pixels, go ahead and use that. If not, let's create a new canvas, 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels, 300 dpi. It's okay if you want to go larger or smaller, but if you're following along, that's the settings that I'm using. Our first step is to create the flower that's going to become our stamp brush. To create our stamp brush, ideally we want to draw our stamp in black and grey. Because our stamp is not going to have any colour, the colour is applied when we select our colour, just like when we use our normal brush, we choose the colour we want it to be. So while drawing our flower, let's keep it nice and simple and draw using only black or grey. Black is going to be fully saturated colour, or so let's say I draw a flower in black, but when I use my stamp I choose red or perhaps pink. The black areas of your drawing are going to be in this color. The more grey or the more white you add to it, the less saturated it's going to be. Okay, this will make sense later. Let's start with black and let's draw the outline of our flower. Because this is a cute little flower, it doesn't actually have to be perfect. I'm going to draw the outline and fill it in. Okay, now I'm going to draw the inside of my flower. So this right here is going to become our stamp. You can resize it if you like, but it doesn't really matter as long as you can see it quite clearly. Okay, our next step is we're going to actually create our stamp. So come into your layer that holds has your flower, and please make sure that your flower doesn't have anything on its background, because this next process is just going to take just your artwork and anything that's on the artboard in this layer. Okay, so if you've got let's say if you've got some color in this layer here, your brush is going to pick that up as well. So just make sure that your artwork is on, just make sure that your artwork is isolated, it doesn't have any background color. Tap your layer and then tap copy. Okay, let's hide that layer, create a new one for our next step. Now we're going to create our stamp brush. If you come into your brush library, I'd recommend choosing from your inking section using the drawing brush. We don't want to change the settings of this one because we want to keep this brush. So instead we're going to swipe left, and we're going to duplicate. Tap on it to adjust the settings. Under stroke path, adjust your spacing to the maximum, so that instead of having a long line, you've just got spots. And this is essentially what's going to create our stamp. If you see how I just tap it and it gives me my dots, but instead we're going to replace the dots with our flower. I can still draw a line, but the spacing is the space between this shape. If I reduce the spacing, you'll see that they come closer together. That's what creates our line, so we want it at the max. Stabilization doesn't matter, taper doesn't matter. The shape is the important part here. The shape is pulling it from the circle, so we're going to adjust that. Click Edit, Import, and then Paste. It's pasting the layer that we selected earlier. If you have got a black flower with a white outline, give it a tap with 2 fingers to make it a white flower, or white or grey flower with a black background. Okay, so that's our flower stamp. Now we're going to click Done. So you can see our dot has now turned to our little flower shapes. Okay, there's 2 more settings I want to adjust. When we come down to in your shape settings, we want to come down to shape properties adjust scatter. Can you see how my little flowers, some of my flowers are turning? This is making the rotation randomized so that it is not exactly the same every time we put the stamp down. So that just gives it that bit of variety. Now, please come down to properties. We're just going to adjust our brush behavior. We would like to increase the maximum size of our brush. You can see it's making my stamp larger. Bring it up. It doesn't have to be all the way up, just up to a reasonable level, some variation so that we can actually have more choice over the size of our brush. Okay, that's it. If we come down to about this brush, we can give it a new name. So let's call it flower stamp, and then done. Okay, now that we've made our brush, now it is time to create our pattern layer. So choose a color for your back. Oh, I'm going to stick with this purple. On one layer, add your background color, then create a new layer. I'm going to choose, so next we want to choose the color for your flower. So as you see, you'll remember that we created our flower stamp in black and grey. However, your stamp is going to take on the color characteristics of whichever color you choose. So if I choose white, my stamp is going to be white. If I choose dark purple, it's going to be dark purple. Okay, so that's what our next step is just choosing our colors and laying our stamp down. So what I'm going to do is just increase the size of my stamp. Yep, happy with that. So our next step is we want to start creating our seamless pattern. So I'm going to use the diamond guide for this. So I'm going to, on a new layer, I'm going to color in. Then I'm going to hit rotate 45 degrees, fit to canvas. There we've got my diamond guide. I'm just going to reduce the opacity of that because I only want to just see it. It's not going to appear in my final artwork unless that's the look you're going for. But for this one, I'm not going to, it's just a guide. Okay, so what I want to do then is choose my color. I'm happy with my dark purple. I'm going to do some dark purple and I'm going to do some white. So I'm going to go just a bit darker. Let's see. Yeah, okay. All right, so just pop stamp down. Keeping them within or close to the diamond guide is recommended. Then I'm going to go slightly lighter. Add some more in. There. 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 Maybe there. I'm going to have to be careful near the edge there. Yep, that's okay. Because I know that this flower here is also going to appear here, so it's not too close to that one, so that should be fine. Okay, and now our next step is I'm just going to move my diamond guide underneath, and I want to group these two together, which is my flowers and my background. Okay, so I want to create 4 duplicates of this original layer. This one is going to remain in the center. This one and the other duplicates will form the corners. But what I first want to do is just make my background layer opaque. I don't want to delete it because it's helping me select the entire board instead of just the artwork. So I'm keeping it there, but I'm reducing the opacity down to none. And then I will duplicate that another 3 times. So I want one central copy that has the background color is visible, and on these 4 the background color is going to be invisible. So now I want to move them to the corner. You can see here, if I kept the background visible, I wouldn't be able to see beyond there. So okay, so just positioning them in the corner, we need to make sure that we see the gold guides, as that is essential in having our perfect seam. The most difficult yet rewarding part of pattern design. is lining up these edges. Okay, there we go. We have our seamless pattern tile now. And so you've got two options here. You can just group it all together. Or if you would like to keep your artwork and your background separate, you can go through and ungroup them, then delete your layer and just keep your artwork on the same layer. So here, and let me show you. So I have the artwork on one layer and the background color on the other, and that might be helpful for you, like say if you wanted to change that. Let's say maybe we wanted, I don't know, we wanted to go grey or something. I don't think that's going to look very nice, but no. But for whatever reason, if you want yours separate, you can certainly do that. But let's have a look now at our pattern. Let's zoom out. Let's test the seams. Let's step back and see what it looks like. Because it's important to step back, because even though your pattern tile might look great, when you view it as a repeat, it might not look as good. It's a good opportunity for you to test the seams, to test the spacing, and to see what it looks like as the finished product. Okay, so the seams are good. There's no white line there, and the spacing, I'm quite happy with that as well. If you want to keep reducing yours down, you absolutely can. Otherwise, there's your pattern.